The idea of unidentified orbs in our skies has been around for a while now, and has been caught by many amateur UFOologists and people like me and you on our cameras every day, many times over. I'd go as far to say they are the most seen aerial phenomenon in our skies these days. But we've never gotten close enough to see what these things actually are. Well guys, if you've always wished for better coverage, I got a bombshell story for you today. Right out of Mexico, as an unidentified orb just landed, or more like it, crashed on July 31st, and no, it wasn't filled with candy. Superman didn't crawl out of it. Neither did leprechauns with their pot of gold. And do me a favor, stay around for this whole video. You're going to want to do that to hear one of my wildest theories ever as to what this could be, and also see what could also be flying over Mexico just days before this incident that looks very orb-like. But first, hey everyone, I'm Larry and welcome back to Interstellar Happenings. So I was going to do this video, and it's a horrible story, last night after catching wind of it on Reddit. When I saw this orb, something had fallen out of the skies in Mexico. I got so excited, and then boom, there's Thor's hammer down on St. Louis, ruining all of my fun. I lost power several times, and I just gave up. I had to work today, so do me a favor, help me create more content. Help me retire, please, and subscribe to my channel. But let's go ahead and talk about all this awesomeness. So this orb was discovered by a local meteorologist, or well, there's more people than just him. Lots of people seen this fall from the sky. And there's no denial here. This happened. No one is even fighting it at this point that the claim isn't true. It did happen. This is no hoax. It fell from the sky. It's a legit UFO, or unidentified falling object. But that's not all, guys, as this mystery just keeps getting more and more mysterious as it grows deeper, with answers for what this object is just aren't rolling in, and the typical debunkers are getting debunked themselves. We just don't know what this is yet. I mean, SpaceX, Chinese rockets, it's all out there, you know, the weather balloons, all those cases said. What the usual plausible deniability for debunkers is to go to today to explain away the unexplainable for anything and everything weird that they don't want us to know about have all, for the most part, been shut down. They may sound reasonable, but the Chinese rocket that blew up, well, the debris was found in Malaysia, far, far from Mexico. And y'all know what I think of SpaceX. Nothing in the area. No launches, not there. Could this actually be the smoking gun to disclosure? I'm not sure. We got a lot of people out there trying to cover this stuff up, but take a look at it. And I'm going to talk about it, the features that I see here, as well as the ones the onlookers noticed before it was taken away by the military. And eventually I'm going to get to my own wild theory of what most likely is going to be a mystery for years to come. Especially, like I said, now that the Mexican government has control of it. So witnesses describe this object as a metallic orb, kind of obvious, with no discernible seams or lines where it may have been welded together, just a sphere, with no way to enter the flying, or in this case, falling object. It also has an odd looking antenna attached to it, where it has a lot of people really wondering what this is. But that isn't the weirdest part of this story. As it was witnessed falling from the sky, the object reportedly made a very unique and eerie sound just before it crashed into a tree. Also had no discernible lighting, which could be the case. A lot of times if you hear a lot of people who have been closer to these objects, they say it just seems to radiate the light. Further weirdness, it has absolutely no sign of collision. Absolutely no damage from this crash. No re-entry burns from entering our atmosphere. That meaning whatever this is, It's not space debris. It's not a satellite or anything of the such, and don't believe anyone who tells you this, because it is impossible unless this is from another world. With our current technology, for this to be possible, it just doesn't happen. Period. Getting even weirder though, and closer to my own personal revelation, is that this meteorologist that found it claims it has a strange code written on the outside of it. He also says he believes only trained individuals should attempt to open it, as he thinks it contains unlimited and invaluable knowledge, stating, and I'm not lying here guys, these spheres have a timing mechanism that at a certain time they will open up by themselves and show the valuable information they have inside. And even if they tried, there was no hole or slit through which it could even be opened. And he also said that it could possibly be radioactive and very dangerous in the wrong hands. He also stated at one point it's made of 7 alloys or metals, and that it was removed by highly trained hands. So yeah, extremely strange. How would this meteorologist know anything about this object or of the such? I mean, I'm sure he's a smart guy and all, but there are limitations here. Now listen closely, because this is where I'm going to get into my theory, and it's going to come in. My out of this world idea. Could have this meteorologist had some kind of contact or communication with this orb, or more disturbing, what's inside of it? A question that really needs to be asked at this point, as he seems to know a lot about its contents, almost too much, kind of eerie. And if he did, what does this mean? Could this possibly mean that the orb or craft could actually have a biological entity inside piloting it? We know through many accounts some of these objects appear to be unpiloted drones, of course, and others being seen here seem to have something piloting it, reacting to your movements, acknowledging those who chase them. Furthermore, for years now, we have known many who have experienced these abductions by OWBs or off-world or otherworldly beings, is that they seem to have the ability to communicate telepathically, making me think, could it actually be possible that there is a life form inside of this object, and if it is, could it be hurt or need help? Could it have been trying to tell or communicate telepathically with this meteorologist, essentially explaining that this code is the key to entering this orb and or letting them out? I know it's a wild, crazy sounding theory, almost as crazy as Lou Elizondo's Mankind's, but what other explanation would there be unless this is these beings trying to open a line of communication or a gift of technology, and this orb holds that knowledge? There is also the possibility of artificial intelligence, meaning essentially the same thing. If so, this meteorologist could be very important if we have plans to open it or trying to understand it. If he can communicate with it, it would be monumental in importance to make sure he was there and on board with what was going on. I'd really like to talk with this guy. I mean, if you know him or anything, man, have him contact me at interstellarhappenings@gmail.com. Hopefully he speaks English. I know he's from Mexico, but I think it would just be really cool just to get a look into his understanding, or at least to try to find out if this was the case. With all this said, there's still not a whole lot known on this orb. No one really knows where it was taken or where it will be taken, and my guess is we may never really ever see it again. With all that said, let's go ahead and take a look at some orb UFO UAPs seen over Mexico just days before this incident, and see if they don't look a little familiar. So this is the one I'm most interested in. Just seen days before this incident, when this thing dropped out of the sky, we see an orb moving erratically at high speeds, and another one essentially hovering in place. Take a look, and then we will zoom in and we'll get a better look at this, take some photos and enlarge them, and see if we can get something better here on this object.
Você é louco, mano. Já viu a velocidade disso aí?
Oh, olha isso lá em cima.
Olha a velocidade disso aí, mano. Isso não é drone, não. Mano, isso não é drone, velho.
Mano, esse não é muito forte, mano.
Ou é drone? Será que é drone?
Eu acho que é drone.
É drone da polícia?
Eu acho, mano.
Será que é mesmo, velho?
Isso é drone, cara.
Okay guys, so I take that back. Running this slowly, I actually noticed 3 objects. One just moving faster, making maneuvers that are impossible with our technology. Take a look. I'm gonna slow it down for you. Okay, I may be wrong here. There is a chance this could actually be a bug. What do you think? Okay, so same video, but slower, and then let's jump into some close-up images. Alright guys, again, what do you think? Definitely odd, these being seen just days before. As you can see, this object does look spherical in shape, just like what we've seen crashed. It even has a shadow and the same distinct reflective properties, which is making me it makes me feel eerie inside. The object seen crashing had no visible light, which these seem to, but that doesn't really mean much. Like I said earlier, these crafts sometimes seem to radiate the light. And of course, if it wasn't in proper working order, maybe that light doesn't work. Maybe that light is some form of propulsion that these crafts use to maneuver. So what do you think, guys? Are these one and the same? Could this be what was discovered, crashed, right outside Veracruz, Mexico? But don't leave yet, because there are more sightings here from Mexico one on a webcam. So obviously not the object in question, but what do you think? Next we have an object re-entering the ocean. Also in Mexico. I mean, could that actually be why there's no re-entry marks? Maybe it's from our ocean. Take a look. Okay, so if this could be the object, then I have to say, is it from our oceans? It's totally plausible, because with no doubt I believe these are the same objects or objects. Same coloring, shadowing, maneuvering, and I have one more video here for you to go before I take off for the day, so let's go ahead and check this one out as well. Okay, so again, same object. Is this what crash landed? Did it come from our oceans? Is this where the base is, or could they possibly be right here from Earth, living under the sea, inside our oceans, or maybe inside our planet for all you hollow earthers out there? Here's some plausible proof. Anyways guys, I hope you enjoyed this, my mind warping theory, and hopefully this gets you a little bit closer and more interested in the idea that we are not alone in this universe or any other. So keep looking towards the sky with all your cameras and cell phones, trying to catch anything that's out there, and if you can, upload them to YouTube and send me a link. Maybe you too can be featured right here on Interstellar Happenings. And don't forget, like, comment, it helps the algorithm guys, and subscribe for more Interstellar Happenings.